What is a dirty business tactic that you know and everyone should be aware of it? Whenever you are offered a raise, get it in writing. Always. I don't know if this was said, but my sister was a member of La Fitness and she wanted to cancel her membership. To cancel her membership, she had to log into her account, print and fill out a cancellation request, mail it to them and then go in and discuss it with the manager. The managers only worked from 8 to 5, so people who work regular schedules had to go out of their way to cancel. Okay, I genuinely hope people find this comment. This post is already blowing up, but I'll give it a shot. If you haven't heard of Caitlin Doughty, she's an oddly cheerful funeral home director / best-selling author who runs the YouTube channel Ask a Mortician. Might not be everyone's thing. She covers all kinds of death-related stuff, from mummies to Eva Peron's corpse to why crypts don't smell, etc. But she also makes consumer protection videos informing her viewers of all the shady shit other morticians and funeral homes try to pull with their customers. Here's one about how to get the least expensive option from a funeral home, and she also covers the bullshit extra fees and tactics that are commonly used to milk more money out of people who are grieving and not necessarily in the best headspace to be making big financial decisions. There's a bunch of other videos covering similar topics and I suggest checking them out. I hope none of you need this information for a long time, but she makes a great point. Most of us don't like thinking about death, and the death industry knows that. Don't be uninformed, be prepared. Edit. Thank you all so much for the gildings and the cake day wishes. I'm completely astounded this blew up and so happy that I could actually give everybody some useful advice. Also, for some reason, some a-holes are downvoting most of the nice / positive comments. It's not me, and all of your responses are appreciated. Debt collectors that buy large batches of delinquent debt will send out thousands of lawsuits a week with insufficient evidence to prove that they own the debt and that the details of the debt they're suing over are accurate. The batches are even sold to them with a disclaimer saying we can't verify that these numbers are correct, and without the original debt documentation, such as cardholder agreement. All they want to do is to scare you into doing nothing, because after service of a lawsuit, there's a time limit for defendants to answer. And if you don't answer, they can just ask a judge to give them whatever they want. Never agree to work off the clock in a shitty job, even if it's for a minute. For the ones that come later, this is actually illegal in the United States, whether the company requests it or you volunteer. You are required by law to be paid for all time worked. If you're buying a used car, or any car for that matter, the check engine light should temporarily come on when you start the vehicle. If it doesn't, the dash has been tampered with to mask a potential issue. When you get a crack in your car windshield fixed and the owner says I saw your air filter in your cabin needed to be replaced so I put a new one in. It's only $40, but I can take it out if you really want me to. I said I did not authorize the change and to put my original back in. After I knocked the dirt out of it, he had to remove one screw and slot the filter in, then put the screw back. Took less than 1 minute. I checked the price of the filter at the nearest auto parts store, $18 or so. One time I took my car to Jiffy Lube and right before I left I had put a new cabin and engine air filter in my car. The guy comes up to me in the waiting room with my in-cabin air filter which was covered in hair and dirt and told me I needed a new one. Which I explained I just 15 minutes prior put a brand new one in, and why the frick did you just rub a bunch of dirt in my filter? Frick Jiffy Lube. I used to work for Staples store, and I was told to only tell customers that we have the laptop or desktop in stock if they want to buy additional installation services from us. The reason for that is because Staples, Office Depot or Best Buy, they all make money on those services. That's also the reason why they cut down the price tag and call it on sale / discount, If a customer says they're only interested on buying the unit itself, then I would go inside the storage. The techie stuff are locked, so the manager would open the door for me and we both hang out there for 15 minutes, then go out and tell the customers, we don't have it in stock. You know, because it's on sale, it's sold out. Tip is to tell the technician or salesperson that you are interested in installing the MS Word or do the Windows Update service, which you can do by yourself at home, and specifically tell them you want to see the box first before they install any of the software. Once they bring out the product for you, and you have it in your hand, tell them you change your mind with the installation service. Because you are not paying until you get to the cashier, it's not like they can charge you before you have the laptop in your hand. There was one time I witnessed my manager, they will take the product back and say this is actually reserved to another person already. Which is effing shady, and I left that company. So-called locksmiths that are basically unskilled drill and replace rip-off artists. Basically they come out, look at your lock, say it will have to be drilled, they drill it out, replace it with a cheap one, then charge you a small fortune. A real locksmith can almost always pick your locks or bypass them unless you have some serious high security locks, which most people do not have. Note, we are talking about home/business door locks, not car door locks. Edit, there are legit locksmiths out there, but the industry has a bunch of scumbag rip-off artists pretending to be legit. Best bet is to find a brick-and-mortar locksmith, one who works in/out an actual shop/store, and get his number for any future lockout emergencies. There are legit locksmiths that work out of their vans, which are pretty much mobile shops, and don't have a brick-and-mortar store. In some places in Europe, you can't just fire people. So when larger companies need to reduce staff numbers, they relocate the office far away from the old one. In the process, they reduce the office size from 20,000 to 10,000 because they've calculated that amount of people will resign rather than commute an hour further. Official paperwork will basically say along the lines of, you still have your job if you want, but I need you in the office to work. Or you could resign if you don't like the new location. Stores having perpetual grand opening or going out of business sales. You know the kind of store. Independent creatives being asked to work for exposure, credit line, or we'll pay you for the next job. They have money, they're just out to rip you off. It's tax time. If you extrapolate out the fees for early refund loans/refunds, the APR is outrageous. Unless you're completely desperate, direct deposits of refunds tend to happen in 1 to 2 weeks. Just wait it out, man. Anytime a salesperson offers you a deal, but only if you buy before you leave. If you leave and come back, the price will be back to the original price. It's almost always bullshit, and you can get the same deal later the same day at the exact same place. The Decoy Effect Amateur Edition software, $30 Intermediate Edition software, $60 Pro Edition software, $60 not inherently a problem. But you'll sometimes see companies misprice their most expensive product at an equal price to a lower quality good. If in this example, I was going to buy the intermediate good, it's fine to get the Pro Edition. The issue stems from those who were going to buy the Amateur Edition. They will instead buy the Pro Edition to capitalize on the seller's mistake and get an underpriced software. The company didn't make a mistake, they just upsold you. This works so well because it gives the illusion of choice. But in actuality, your choices are just the amateur and pro editions. This is common in media. For instance, you will have one price for an online subscription to a newspaper, another price for the print version, and a third option for both print and online. The last option will cost the same as the print-only option. People will often buy the last option even if they only wanted to read the newspaper online. Edit, found a link with more info. I am referring to the decoy effect. Hiding the cancel subscription option. I spent an hour looking for it on one site once. sent angry emails and forum posts, etc. Finally found it. The button only appeared on a drop-down when you hovered over upgrade your account, which might be the last place you'd look if you were dissatisfied with the service and wanted to cancel your subscription. This went beyond poor web design, it was a deliberate attempt to make canceling hard to find. Raising prices then immediately dropping them to think they are having a sale.